Do you know why Scarlett Johansson is suing Marvel's parent company? And have you heard what her co-stars had to say about it? Will this lawsuit change the future of contracts in the entertainment industry? Keep watching to find out more.
Let me go.
In our opinion, the long-awaited Black Widow movie was simply phenomenal. We were shook by Scarlett's and Florence's performances and how badass they looked. But the news that came after the release of the movie was what really made our jaws drop, and we weren't the only ones. Let's look at what was the reaction of Scarlett's beloved Marvel co-stars when they found out about the lawsuit. If you've been living under a rock, you may not have heard about what happened. The acting star Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney, the mother company of Marvel Studios, who basically helped her name skyrocket with the role of Black Widow. And now, after years of waiting and fans manifesting her standalone movie, it's here. But Scarlett is suing Disney because the company decided to release the movie in cinemas and on their own streaming platform Disney Plus at the same time, which caused the movie to flop at the box office. And Scarlett's contract was mostly tied to money made from the box office. Therefore, Disney scammed her of money. And believe us, it wasn't some change. Due to the double release, Scarlett lost about $50 million. It's horrendous to say the least. It must have taken a lot of courage from Scarlett to even come forward and choose the legal way, because her bravery to do so highlights a much bigger problem: how, still in 2021, the actresses are paid less than their male co-stars. Disney has an interesting tactic when it comes to Marvel movies. The payment for the first movies of stars is straight up laughable, and then they'll get more money if the movie is a banger in the box office. The contracts are usually written as a base payment for a role, and then a certain percentage from what the movie makes in the box office. Scarlett's first appearance in MCU was in 2010's movie Iron Man 2, alongside Robert Downey Jr. For that appearance, she earned $400,000. In the last movie, Avengers Endgame, she made $35 million. Just for comparison, her co-star Robert Downey Jr. got $75 million out of that movie, ranking him #1 highest-grossing actor out of all the Marvel movies. So now, when Scarlett only made $20 million for the Black Widow movie, she was promised a chunk of money from the box office coin. But since it also came out on the streaming service, which wasn't included in the contract, Scarlett decided to play the legal game. And Disney wasn't going to sit back and relax. Oh no, the greedy mouse strikes back. There is no merit whatsoever to this filing. The lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, Disney said in their official response. The mouse is angry, y'all. It was John Berlinski, ScarJo's lawyer, who low-key shaded them back, but also spilled some facts. It's no secret that Disney is releasing films like Black Widow directly onto Disney Plus to increase subscribers and thereby boost the company's stock price, and that it's hiding behind COVID-19 as a pretext to do so. But ignoring the contracts of the artists responsible for the success of its films, in furtherance of this short-sighted strategy, violates their rights, and we look forward to providing as much in court. Well, when Disney ran out of pretty empty words and had no more aces up their sleeve, they tried to move the lawsuit behind closed doors, which seems extremely dumb, just to sweep under the rug something so big that could impact so many actors in the future. Scarlett's lawyer fired back at them, saying, after initially responding to this litigation with a misogynistic attack against Scarlett Johansson, Disney is now, predictably, trying to hide its misconduct in a confidential arbitration. And while the mouse is trying to sweep it under the rug and Scarlett is fighting for what she deserves, fans are turning into another thing. Yes, they are all rioting for ScarJo, but you know who else should be rioting for her? Her beloved Marvel co-stars. They're just like family. We know them, we love them. But where are they now? Where are all the people who acted with her in a number of movies and claim to be such good friends? The silence of her co-stars speaks some serious volumes. Are all the other Marvel actors afraid of the greedy mouse and their precious salaries? We know that, after all, Disney is the parent company of Marvel, but speaking up for someone you call your friend for years should be more important. We are so shocked from their silence, because Robert Downey Jr. had happened to be in a similar situation as Scarlett is now. In 2013, he wanted to step down from Iron Man 3 as Marvel was not meeting the demands for his salary. They ended up negotiating and agreeing, but shouldn't Robert advocate for his castmate now? Seems rather weird. And isn't this the first time a Marvel actor appeared in a public scandal that he needed a helping hand? Or, in this case, words from his good friends? As soon as homophobic claims arose on another Marvel actor, Chris Pratt, in the past, all the Avengers assembled to defend him. So, where is that assembly now? Could it be that nearly all of them are staying silent because the first person to speak up about this was Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios and the chief creative officer over Marvel in general? And let us say, he wasn't happy at all. He expressed that he feels angry and embarrassed over what has happened. Yikes. We say nearly all of them because not everyone has kept their mouths shut, in both negative and positive sense of words. David Bautista, who got famous for his role of Drax the Destroyer, quote retweeted an article about Scarlett's lawsuit saying, "Told him they should have made a Drax movie, but no," with a shrug emoji at the end to properly deliver his message. And so many people in the comments were jumping him for that. Instead of showing support to your co-star, you tweet this? "Lost all respect for you. Bye-bye," said one Twitter user. Another wrote, "This tweet ain't it. Scarlett's contract was breached, period, and she's more than entitled to the damages they've caused her. She spent a decade creating one of the most iconic characters, suffered sexism and hypersexualization, and now this crap? She deserved better." And they're right. This tweet is truly distasteful. Thankfully, there were co-stars who decided to support Scarlett publicly, not to make her the butt of the joke. "We are looking at you and we are judging you, Dave." Elizabeth Olsen, who plays Wanda in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and recently had her own hit show WandaVision, decided to speak up about this issue in an interview. "I think she's so tough, and literally when I read that I was like, good for you, Scarlett." She later added, "But when it comes to actors and their earnings, I mean, that's just all contracts." Well, at least someone has her back. What many Marvel fans expected is for the girl power to get all the actresses together and stand behind the Black Widow. So far, we have Wanda, and that's a good start, right? Elizabeth also could have stayed quiet, like her Marvel co-stars. After all, her net worth skyrocketed to $11 million after the premiere of WandaVision on Disney+. But on the other hand, her Marvel co-stars are all quiet because of the money. So how could, for example, Brie Larson, someone who's supposed to be the highest paid female actress out of the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, support something that made both the Marvel president and the Disney overlord sad and angry? Brie is supposed to be paid $15 million for her reprise of Captain Marvel in the upcoming sequel Captain Marvel 2. And by that, she will be overtaking ScarJo, who now owns the title. In comparison, she only got $5 million for starring in the first movie, and many die-hard Marvel fans are saying that Brie is just not deserving that big of a check. In their opinion, Larson's performance is just not iconic as many would expect, and that she simply just doesn't deserve the title. After all, Black Widow is a character loved by many for over a decade. Scarlett went through thick and thin while playing this character, time and time over-sexualized and used as an eye candy or just a simple plot or romance device in the movies. And every time she was fighting the bad guys, there was a shot of her curves. Only now, in her own standalone movie, her costume is finally fitting for fights.
Such a poser.
We believe that after all the years of playing the role, she deserves a fair cut of the money. And we believe that her Marvel co-stars should stand by that as well. Scarlett might not even realize how much of a serious conversation she sparked in the whole industry. Not only is she shining a public light on the money she made from the movie, and how perhaps a male lead would have made twice as much, she also got everyone talking about the future of contracts and, after all, the battle between cinema and streaming platforms. Ever since the pandemic started, the net worth of streaming services skyrocketed, while cinemas were forced to shut down due to restrictions all around the world. The fact that she decided to come forward with this lawsuit will definitely get the conversation going about actors getting a well-deserved chunk also from the streaming services, in case the movie underperforms in the cinema due to another pandemic or something. Currently, Black Widow is sitting at $320 million, ranking it on the end tail of all Marvel movies. So, what do you think? Do you believe that Scarlett Johansson is being greedy or just fighting for what she deserves? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you all for watching!